Did you know that some of the greatest collapses in ancient American civilizations may have been caused not by war or famine, but by invisible enemies? Before European contact, the Americas were already the scene of deadly outbreaks, mysterious illnesses, and biocatastrophes that reshaped entire cultures. From Andean pestilence to sudden desert abandonments, these biological disasters left ghost towns behind, and stories that would haunt oral traditions for centuries. Today, we dig into the forgotten biological catastrophes of ancient America, before Columbus ever set sail. While the post-1492 epidemics like smallpox are well documented, evidence is growing that plagues and biological collapses predated European arrival. Archaeologists have uncovered mass graves, sudden village abandonments, and skeletal signs of disease that date back hundreds, sometimes thousands, of years. For instance, at the Mississippian Mound site of Cahokia, population estimates once exceeded 20,000 people. Yet, around the 13th century, a sharp decline begins. Excavations reveal signs of malnutrition, infection, and widespread violence. But there's more. Soil samples suggest a spike in fecal bacteria levels, indicating severe sanitation breakdowns. That means disease likely played a part in the city's sudden decline. In the desert southwest, the ancestral Puebloans also abandoned major settlements around 1300 AD. Drought gets most of the blame, but studies from sites like Mesa Verde and Chaco Canyon show evidence of parasitic infection and chronic disease. Analysis of coprolites, fossilized feces, reveals whipworms, pinworms, and signs of contaminated water systems. Imagine entire cliffside communities slowly weakening from the inside out. Now, journey deeper into the tropics, into the pre-Columbian Amazon. Far from being a pristine wilderness, the Amazon was once home to vast interconnected societies. But many of these vanished long before European conquest. What happened? Recent bioarchaeological research points to epidemics sweeping through riverine societies. Pollen records from deep soil cores show periods of mass forest regrowth. That regrowth tells us one thing: fields and farms were suddenly abandoned. But there are no signs of war, no burn layers, just silence. Some theorists propose that zoonotic diseases, illnesses that pass from animal to human, may have emerged in the dense Amazonian interaction zones. Just like Ebola emerged from forest animals in modern times, ancient hunters may have contracted new pathogens while handling monkeys, rodents, or bats. Is it possible that Amazonian civilizations were decimated by local pandemics we've never even named? Add to this the mosquito factor. Wet climate swings could have turned towns into breeding grounds for malaria or dengue-like viruses. Without written records, we rely on the land itself, and what it whispers is haunting. In southern New Mexico, a disturbing discovery was made in the 1930s. A deep pit filled with over 100 disarticulated human remains, men, women, and children, many showing signs of disease, not violence. Known as the Mogollon Death Pit, this site puzzled archaeologists. Radiocarbon dating places it around 1100 AD. The bodies weren't ritually buried. They were dumped quickly. It looked like a sudden mass fatality event. Could it have been a plague? Bones showed signs of lesions, likely from chronic infection. Dental evidence pointed to nutritional deficiencies that weakened immune systems. One theory is that a disease, perhaps transmitted through trade routes or contaminated water, swept through this highland village, killing dozens within days. This wasn't war, it was something else, and it may not have been isolated. Ancient America was connected in ways we're only now beginning to understand. From the Hopewell interaction sphere in the east to turquoise trade routes in the southwest and shell exchanges in the Amazon. People, goods, and ideas moved across vast distances. But trade also spreads germs. A traveler carrying an unfamiliar virus from central Mexico to the Mississippi Valley could have unknowingly sparked epidemics. Mesoamerican records speak of fevers and deadly breath sicknesses even before Cortés landed. Could these illnesses have trickled north via traders and pilgrims? In 800 AD, the city of Teotihuacan collapsed. Some historians suggest internal unrest or environmental degradation, but bioarchaeologists are reconsidering. Could a pandemic have played a role in the urban disintegration? And if so, did that illness travel along obsidian routes up through the Four Corners region, carried by people who didn't know they were infected? Oral traditions across indigenous America speak of sickness that swept through the land. The Cherokee tells stories of a great dying long before white men arrived. In one version, a sickness brought hallucinations and burning skin. Another speaks of a curse that made people rot from the inside. The Hopi recall a time when a red cloud covered the land and the people fell ill one by one. It wasn't smoke. Some believe this is a metaphor for contagious disease. Even the Ojibwe have tales of a mysterious illness carried by wind spirits. Elders say entire clans disappeared into the forest and never came back. These are more than myths. They may encode collective memory, fragments of long-forgotten epidemics that shaped tribal migrations and spiritual beliefs. As with the biblical plagues, these stories blend the natural with the supernatural, because when a disease sweeps in silently, it feels like a curse. In recent years, scientists have extracted ancient DNA from bones and mummified tissue across the Americas. What they're finding is changing everything. At a burial site in ancient Peru, remains dating to 1,000 years ago show evidence of tuberculosis, a disease once thought to have arrived only after European contact. But this wasn't European TB. It came from seals. Genetic analysis revealed that a sea mammal strain of TB may have jumped to coastal humans through hunting and butchering. In Mexico, ancient bones show signs of salmonella long before 1492. The strain may have evolved locally and triggered waves of illness in farming villages. This means that even in ancient times, diseases weren't just background noise. They were front and center in shaping human destiny. Imagine a small tribe weakened by illness being overtaken by another, or a great city depopulated in just a few seasons. Plagues don't leave monuments, but they shape who survives to build the next ones. So often, when we look at the ruins of ancient America, we ask, what made them disappear? Sometimes the answer is war, sometimes drought, but sometimes it was something we can't even see. A fever, a cough, a microbe, a whisper of death that moved faster than runners on a trade route. The ancient Americas weren't untouched Edens. They were vibrant, complex, and vulnerable, just like us. And just like us, they battled invisible enemies. As we uncover bones, stories, and soil, we begin to piece together a forgotten chapter, the ancient plagues of America. They left no headlines, no stone tablets, but they shaped migrations, ended dynasties, and redefined life for millions. Their legacy is silence. But if we listen carefully, we can still hear the echoes.